Hello everyone, welcome back to PhD Diaries. I'm Dr. Asar Rashid. Today I'm going to be taking you through Chapter 6, Streamlining Thesis Artwork and using BioRender, PowerPoint and MS Word. I'll show you my workflow of creating, refining and finalising figures for my thesis. So let's dive in. Ultimately, what you want is a piece of artwork that you can put into your Microsoft Word document. But the question is how do you do that? So the workflow, as we mentioned, I use Scrivener. Okay, so somehow you've got to get your illustration into Scrivener, and this was something that took me a while to work out. I decided to concentrate on using PowerPoint for my illustrations, and then somehow you needed to get them into Scrivener. As you do, you compile into MS Word for the finalization of a document. So if I go into my Scrivener file now, just opening, and we can have a look, for example, the title page here, and you can see now if I print current document, you can see it's all in one page. So the question is how to do that, and so what I did was I designed this bit in PowerPoint, for example, and I put that in, but it took me a while to work out how to do that. For PowerPoint, what you need to do is you need to make the illustration in PowerPoint, and then you need to export to PDF. If you export to PDF, then the PDF goes onto your desktop, and then you push this across. So let me just take you to this file, for example. Here we have it. And what's important is to make sure it's within the confines of the width, and the height is within the confines of a A4 document. So an A4 document, normally A4 dimensions are 21 centimeters by 30 centimeters. So you can see here, if you go to File, Page Setup, you can see it's within the confines. The width is below 21 centimeters, and the height also is below the 30 centimeters sort of threshold. But you probably want to make it the height less, because you need to put, information about your figure as well. So if you hit around 18-19 centimeters, so you can make that custom figure. So for example, let's assume you've made your figure in PowerPoint, and you want to then you need to export it, and you export it as PDF. And what you do, you put that in on your downloads. So let's say Chapter 1 export. So I've already exported it before, so it's actually in my download folder now. So then I'll be able to just move it across. So PDF file, just move it across into Scrivener. So that's important. And it took me a while to work that out. Now, so the advantage of that is that it maintains the integrity and the quality of the artwork. Otherwise, if you do use other figures, this thing does tend to get a bit hazy, especially when you're printing out for journals and for the final thesis artwork. So the important thing is this thing: export into as a PDF. I think this is the most important thing I've got to sort of emphasize. So important PDF, and then within the confines of the A4 dimensions. So the illustration needs to be A4 dimensions. Well, at least below A4 dimensions, so it will fit into your diagram. So you do that. Then you put it into Word, as we just said, and Scrivener, and then when you're compiling the document, it'll come out. So if we do, let's just do that one page. We do that as a print PDF. Open and preview. You'll see how it's all come quite nicely. But this is not a compilation. This is just a one page. You can see that it's come out good. So that's that workflow. Now, another piece of workflow that actually improved the quality of my figures was using another piece of software. Import those pieces of the artwork into PowerPoint, and that software was just amazing. Yes, it is a bit steep and expensive, but if you have got a laboratory license or license with your with your university, I think that'd be quite amazing. So for the period of my thesis, I did pay for that because it was just essential. It's just an amazing piece of work. So here is the BioRender platform, and now because I've stopped paying the subscription, you get this little meaty logo at the bottom. You can see, all my artwork actually. If I go to gallery, and you can see how much I did use this software. It's just absolutely amazing. So if we then go to one figure in particular, you can see how amazing and intuitive this software is. First of all, it's very, very easy and simple to use. The artwork itself, there is, some great artworks. Let's say you want to include something, let's say a Petri dish, and then because it is designed around the scientific workflow, there's always different types of Petri dishes you could insert into a document. It won't let me do that because I need to upgrade, so that's the way that is. Yeah, it was an amazing piece of software, so I can't recommend that enough. So it's BioRender. Now, an important area which also improved my productivity was to use software called Evernote. So in Evernote, each figure I put into my thesis. I had also designed my Evernote to also contain those figures and chapters. So this is very, very useful. Here, so for example, I know it's in my pre-introduction chapter, the title page is there. I can go directly to it, I can change it, I can export it. So I can't recommend this enough. Its workflow now on Evernote is so useful because you can also, let's say you've got figures that are repetitive, then you can also duplicate. You can duplicate figures, and you can move them to different chapter headings and different areas as well. So I think this is also part of the workflow to improve the way you save your material, because you don't want to be losing material or losing track, and it really does take a lot of time trying to find that one figure that you sorted out last week, and where is it gone. So Evernote, great package. So if I can summarize, the first step in the workflow is creating the initial design, and one software you can use, BioRender. So BioRender offers all these various templates and tools designed for scientific figures. You can choose your template, and then you can customize as you go along. Once you customize your figures, you can add various components to that, and then drag and drop it onto your desktop. Once you've dragged and dropped that into your desktop, you finalize the figure and you put it into PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint. You can use the PowerPoint's editing tools to just resize and rejig the visuals. You can adjust the colors, you can add whatever fits really. Then you export that as a PDF once you're satisfied with the figure. This formatting preserves the quality of the figure to be inserted into Scrivener as is. And then once that's ready in Scrivener, you can then compile into MS Word. So that's the workflow. You may have to rejig the figure where it's to centralize it within the page, which is why it's best to leave the final compilation till the end. When you're close to handing in your thesis, you can do a lot of that rejigging at the end. But of course, if you're writing for papers and publication, then of course you'll need to do that then. And that's my work for designing and integrating figures into my thesis, using BioRender, Microsoft PowerPoint, Scrivener, and MS Word. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Dr. Diaries. Until next time.